Hello and welcome back to another game on Arena 1v1. Before I'm going into this game, let me tell you, I'm quite a bit pissed about Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition because A, you can't get recorded game files from the internet like on Woobly, which is fine, I guess, I got used to that, but B, with every new update and hotfix, you can forget about your old recorded game files, so if you didn't watch them, you didn't cast them, yeah, bye-bye. There is no way, none that I know, to get these old recorded game files working. There is a Steam database where you can get old manifests or whatever it's called, but they're not available, and there is no old betas like they should have been done from the beginning, but apparently it's too much, they're not able to do it. So sad me, I had like at least a dozen recorded games and wanted to cast them. Now I got two, this one and another one from the Civs Cup. This is from the semifinals, I think. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen the games, but if you didn't, we have Viper playing in red as the Aztecs here, Liereyy in green. Preferred Britons over Aztecs, or the other way around? No, Liereyy was to... Wait, Viper was to choose? Liereyy was to choose? I'm not quite sure right now who picked the civilizations. Who did offer this matchup? I don't know, to be honest, I don't remember, and that's sad, because this game is like 3 days old or something, I don't know. But, okay, we have Liereyy, I think he picked Britons over Aztecs, I'm not sure about it. So, Viper as the Aztecs here, generally known as the best civilization on Arena, but Britons seem to be pretty good against them, and I've seen it go both ways. I've seen Britons win against Aztecs lately, was quite impressive to see. Apparently, in the long run, so if the game is going to post-Imperial Age, Aztecs lag a little bit, and even the siege rams won't cover up the fact that Britons have done the better trash, I guess. The snipers with 12 range can still do a lot of damage, and then there's champions for the Britons, which are not as strong as those from the Aztecs, but usually Britons go to them faster. And then there's light cav, strong elite skirmishers for both civilizations actually. So it's pretty neck and neck in my opinion, but it could go either way. Let's go and start with the casting. One more problem on DE, of course. Now the game is running really slow for me, like that's normal speed actually as far as I can see. But when I go faster, then it's going quite fast already. That's like 90 speed on Woobly, or extremely fast, which doesn't really make sense at this point in the game. So now I have to go back and forth between faster and normal, and it really sucks. Like, it was so easy on Woobly. You had the speed between, was it 0 and 100? You could go for it digit by digit and say, okay, 85, that was my favorite speed. I could go for that, but no, not happening. In this game, you have faster or fast playback and the fastest, and that's it. And that is so, so sad. For a game that was created by one of the biggest companies in the world, they have money, they have the technology, they have the devs, but apparently they're not able to do this. And yeah, I'm quite pissed. So it's not going to be too many games in the near future that I'm going to cast. I desperately hope that DE is coming to Woobly. Like, you have user patch and World of Kingdoms DE. Imagine this would be so, so great. And I think everybody would go to Woobly immediately, which maybe is the fear of Microsoft. I don't know. But the players, people still need to buy the game. Maybe you could even combine it somehow. I don't know. But like this, for 1v1 tournaments, it's fine. Recorded games watching is shit. And going to the game, Liereyy is going up to Feudal Age 20 population, but not going for trash here. Putting up 2 farms, 3 farms now. Has not done any military buildings, anything. Is just going to be up to feudal fast. And when you can see, look at the relics, there is one next to 2 extra resources in the middle, another one in the middle on the right hand side, this one in the neutral zone, only one relic close to the Viper. This map somehow only has 4 relics, apparently it happens sometimes. Extra gold here. So actually Liereyy, I think, wants to go for map control somehow, and with the Feudal Age Scout makes sure that Viper can't really go scouting. He's got the Eagle Scout parked in the corner here, was able to lure all the deer in. I think they were quite close, but now cannot go out really. And Viper obviously will be able to go up to Castle Age faster, but Liereyy, as you can see, is not so far away. Only question is, does he have the feudal buildings? There's a barracks coming up now, so it's going to take him a little bit longer, because you need 2 feudal buildings here. That's the stable, and I'm guessing you're going to see a blacksmith or maybe even a market. It's possible. Food count looking really good, like 9 farms up and running already. 8? Is it 8 farms? I guess it's 8. There's the market coming up, and Liereyy will be able to click up to Castle Age in a reasonable time. With, I'm guessing, 32 population then, but it's not so easy to do this, and I didn't really follow the build order. It looks like a quite decent one, to be honest. Viper obviously up to Castle Age now, and Viper is going with a double monastery here. 2 lumber camps, 1 extra TC coming up on that second gold in the back. The main goal, there are 6 villagers on that, and we have a second stone safe in the back. Extra stone as well, I guess he scouted it. Shouldn't really matter in an Aztecs against Britons, because you don't really need that much stone as the Aztecs here. Main stone forward, and we've seen the extra, but the third gold, that's forward outside, we didn't see that one. Barracks now coming up, additional to 2 monasteries, and Liereyy obviously went for some scouts, soon to be light cav probably, as Viper is going for monks here. Going to see Sanctity and Fervor, that's going to be 55 HP monks and fast ones at that. And I'm going to slow down because there's some feudal age, castle age fights going to happen. A spearman to protect the monks, which hit here, but looks like Viper should lose some of those. Then again, we have 2 conversions already, and the scouts from Liereyy are not really on good health, so Viper losing the 3 monks, but taking down 3 scouts, 2 conversions, 1 is dead, and therefore is taking some map control here, and he can easily afford to go for more monks in early Castle Age, not a big problem here. As for Liereyy, he's gone to the archer range, going for archers now. Has a monastery up to get some relics in. The question is how many will it be, and a TC up on that wood line and the second gold. A third TC yet to come up. He's got the resources for that. Half wood, that means like 139 I think. So it's going to be up on the left hand side, actually going directly on the mill and that extra stone. Decent TC position, I guess. Wants to go for a castle later on, which makes sense. Now Viper has a scout on the right hand side. Liereyy is gone for the light cav upgrade, which makes sense. 3 spearmen out, another scout on the left, and Viper once again trying to go for a relic here. In the meantime, the players are obviously trying to boom as fast as possible. Viper housed, no, Liereyy housed on 50, sorry. We have Viper on 45, 47. Let's hope that he's not getting ousted either, but it happens sometimes, especially seeing that they are playing a feudal fight, and you can see it here, this is too slow for me. Really, it's annoying to be honest, and this is too fast. It feels too fast at least. Now Liereyy is going to the right hand side, but now again using the monk to reconvert that light cav. Ooh, that was good. And then again going down to that scout. Viper losing a monk here as well. And now Liereyy has the archers on the map, so Viper, if he wants to go for map control for the relics, needs to add in eagles. That's pretty much the only chance, or maybe some siege, that's also possible, but I think the eagles will be better. They're working against the light cav as well as the crossbowmen. We have a few monks in the back here, a good amount of eagles. Viper should be able to get some map control back. For now, Liereyy is playing a really strong arena fight here, and is trying to stop Viper from taking relics at the same time, trying to collect as many relics as possible. Is that the first or second relic for Liereyy? Ooh, Viper did not see the monk, was not able to get it. I think that's the first relic for Liereyy going in. Viper should have picked up this one on the extra resources, which is in fact true. And we have Viper now moving the monks to the left hand side, grabbing one, but deciding to put it back to go for some conversions. There's now Eagle Warriors on the field, so Viper did go for that upgrade. We are 23 minutes in, we are still seeing a lot of fighting for the relics. Nightcav moving forward, there's Eagle Scouts, there was not too many of them, the monks going down, and the Scouts, Lightcav are going back without too much damage taken, but Viper is sending in more and more Eagles now. He must have like 2-3 barracks actually, and you can see it here, a knight now in for Liereyy. This one could get converted easily, remember that, and Liereyy is not trying to go for those 2 relics. The new invert is greedy. Maybe this was too greedy. We're going to find out soon, because every time a player is taking a risk and is saying, okay, I could afford this, I think I should get away with that. But since NAC3, for me the word is greedy, and everybody's suddenly using it, I guess it's gonna pass sometime. You can see it here. Viper now has so many Eagle Warriors that Liereyy, even with his army, doesn't really stand a chance to take the fights, and Viper now taking full map control should be able to get those 2 relics in, as Liereyy, I guess, is stopping to go for too much military in Castle Age. Instead is concentrating on the boom, is going for the Imperial Age and trying to get there as fast as possible. At the same time, 500 stone almost in the bank, will be able to go for a castle as well. TC number 4 is up on the wood line in the back here. And farm number is looking good. Villager number 16 better than Viper. Viper now has a huge army on the open field, and that's 19 against 0 military. And the question is, can he go for some attack? No, Viper is actually the first to click up. Liereyy just clicked. Viper like 14, 15%, 30% ahead. And Viper is opening with archer ranges to go for, that's not going to be Arbalest, we're going to see elite skirmishes here. Arbalest doesn't make sense at all against the Britons, you know that of course, but elite skirmishes, that's a must-have half unit almost against the Britons. So Viper, I guess not the worst idea, is going with the villager to build a castle in front of these archer ranges. I like the layout from Viper. He's putting military units around the castle. You will see it. There's a few more gonna come up on the left hand side here. And Viper going for standard infantry as well. This is interesting. Are we going to see, or is it, or was I wrong? Oh, it's Liereyy, the standard infantry. Sorry, I was wrong here. Viper now doing bracer upgrade. Liereyy advancing to castle to Imperial Age, and Liereyy is the one who's going for standard infantry. Long swordsman on the field. A few longbowmen as well from that castle. And Liereyy for now is just waiting to get enough army in. He's going with the castle on the right hand side. Viper has the Eagle Warriors here, but this castle is too far advanced. And Viper's Knight, the Conqueror Knight, did not see this. The line of sight is just too little, too less. And we have now barracks coming up from Liereyy on the outside. Viper in the meantime building more archer ranges around that castle. Barracks now coming up as well as 2 siege workshops. And I'm pretty sure Viper wants to go for the siege rams here, which makes a lot of sense against Britons. Going for a lateral, giving these skirmishers +1 attack, +1 range. And I'm not sure, does it still reduce minimum range? I think so, at least. I'm not quite sure about that. Capram upgrade coming in. Both players are trying to go for the best army compositions. And you can see here, Liereyy has a good amount of army now. Closing gap to Viper. Viper actually delaying a castle here, taking down quite a few villagers. And elite skirmishers now trying to snipe as much as possible, but Viper has to move them away. And Liereyy is going to be able to finish this castle. Still, being annoying here, taking down villagers, that's quite a good win for Viper. And he's going to score it by a little bit at least. He's gone for 200 swordsmen as well. If we're going to see champion war in the end, then with Garland wars, Viper will have a big advantage in that. But Liereyy always has those elite longbowmen almost fully upgraded on the attack power and range, missing yeomen, I think. And those snipers can do so much damage from distance. As long as Viper doesn't have a good amount of siege rams on the map, he's got cap rams as you can see, then the snipers are really strong. Liereyy though, moving forward. Only problem for him might be I don't see any form of siege. He could go for trebuchets with Warwolf even, but as long as he doesn't add siege, this is a pretty safe forward base for the Viper, and he can always hide between the castles. Now he's moving in with the siege rams, or at least wants to. Elite skirmishers still at the front. Viper can afford to lose them. Doesn't even have so much wood and food, actually. A lot of stone and gold in the bank. As for Liereyy, yeah, pretty evenly distributed resources. Big fight happening. Elite skirmishers firing away at elite skirmishers. Elite longbowmen. The snipers and the champions in between as some form of meat shield. The siege ram's going down fast. And Liereyy quick walled with the gate here against the siege ram, I think. But the trebuchet is still hitting away at the castle, and the castle, I think, might go down. Only 4 bridges. That's not enough over time. And again, Liereyy is now moving into those trebuchets. No, why is he not doing that? He's keeping the castle alive for now, which is good for him. Viper going for Garland wars here. And Liereyy finally with the first trebuchet to hit Viper's castle. I think I can slow down a little bit here. If only I could, but you can see it. Viper going with siege rams, champions, elite skirmishers against Liereyy, trebuchets, elite longbowmen, and the champions. Really nice army compositions from both players. Not sure which one is stronger. I guess it's about the numbers. The siege rams might do a difference actually. Viper is preparing that castle with only a few villagers. The siege ram now moving into the trebuchets, and those traps almost only half on HP. The champions not doing a lot here, as thanks to E, they're still bugging out. Melee units not as strong any longer. This is also a pretty sad thing. Why couldn't you just do it like it was on good old AOC? The melee units were working, and now they are always standing around doing nothing. Not always, but a lot of times. And for now, Viper moving out to the side here. There's 2 champions patrolling. Ooh, this might be bad for the Viper. He might lose all those villages here. And Liereyy, a really nice idea to go on that extra gold, which Viper wants to take. At the same time, Viper is gaining some ground in the middle. Siege rams really doing the work, but elite skirmishers dying to those elite longbowmen. And that's quite good for Liereyy here, because they're not really losing too much HP, and only single units going down. There's still 2 trebuchets hitting that castle. Are they actually hitting something? Yeah, I think they're beginning now. Oh no, Liereyy is starting to attack these skirmishes, and I think that's the sign for Warwolf done, as this explosion looks like the unique tech. And Liereyy is now going with the TC and the extra gold, while in the middle he's losing 1 trebuchet, still firing at that castle now, and Viper has to go back once again. But Viper is able to keep that castle alive, and that's so important for him. Liereyy is scored it by 1k5 points. I'm amazed. They actually fixed the KD thing, so the kill and dash as well as the score should be fine now. So Liereyy actually ahead a little bit, and we have Liereyy safely taking that gold on the right hand side, building that TC, but Viper is sending in champions. 13 plus 8 attack, fully upgraded Aztecs champions. They are strong, they die to the Longbowmen, but once they're moving in, they're doing a lot of damage, and Viper obviously sending in more siege rams. Not sure if Liereyy could go for Onagers. Viper doesn't really have a good answer to Onagers, to be honest, and if the Onagers is standing behind the champions, then even the siege rams won't do too much. Like this, the siege rams are really stopped as Liereyy is losing his champions at the front, and that trebuchet is going down. So both castles still standing, Viper repairing it to full HP, not going for any building armor or HP here. I'm a little bit surprised about that, but okay, be fine. And Viper also has enough stone for 2.5 castles, which he could place somewhere on the map. I guess he's going to do that later on. If he is able to move forward, then it's going to be forward castles, or maybe he needs to defend, then it's going to be defensive castles. Like this one is doing both. Somehow it's attacking the TC, or will attack the TC. And in the middle, looks like Viper is gaining ground with siege rams. Very important to see. Britons still vulnerable to siege rams here, and Viper also using those elite skirmishers with the plus attack and range to take down Liereyy. They are not upgraded at all. On the attack, yes, because champions, of course, but no defense upgrades. They are lacking bloodlines. These Britons don't get that. Not sure about husbandry, and there are 4 elite skirmishers with 8 attack, doing 6 damage per arrow. That's only 10 of those arrows or spears or whatever to take a Liereyy down, and that's something you don't want to see as the Britons here. So Liereyy will get those upgrades in. Architecture are coming in from Liereyy as well, going for the stronger castles as the siege rams approaching the right hand side castle. Left hand side the castle went down. Oh no, sorry, didn't. It's still alive, but only on 2k2 HP, that's not too much. And now Lierey's trying to clear up those siege rams, but Viper has the champion majority, and that's the lack of elite longbowmen on the right hand side that is now working in Viper's favor. At the same time, those 2 trebuchets trying to fire at these skirmishers only, I guess. It looks like Lierey's TC went down, and we have siege rams still attacking that castle, and this castle I think is pretty much doomed. The siege rams have enough HP, at least one of them should be left, and Viper could even use the champions. Finally, Liereyy is using the elite moment to get rid of those champions, but the castle is quite low now, 7k HP top, we are on only 1k6. On the left hand side there's the 2 trebuchets, and that's it. And Viper is saying, okay, you are defending on the right hand side, I'm going to attack on the left. He's got a lot of military units, that's 64, and that allows him to go for both castles on the flanks here. Maybe Liereyy shouldn't have put those castles up, or needed to go for more map control somehow. But Viper with the siege rams doing real good damage here, and despite the fact that Liereyy is in the score lead, it looks like Viper is getting more and more map control. Now this is actually quite dangerous. The siege rams are hard to stop. Liereyy now with more upgrades, not sure about the +4. Yeah, Liereyy is getting it. It's the bloodlines that Britons are missing here, and that's also not a good fight for Liereyy, as the elite skirmishers are doing 3 damage in gold units. The champions, of course, falling fast. You can see it here. They don't really stand a chance to get even close to those elite snipers, but the skirmishers doing damage. And now Liereyy lost the castle on the left hand side. The stables could fall as well. Viper has the majority of military units here. Good champions, of course, and Liereyy is going back to his base. He was able to keep that castle up. Could repair it actually, but maybe he wants to set up another castle later on. And Viper is taking the extra gold now, sending a trebuchet to attack this castle probably, and Viper has taken full map control, and Liereyy is actually resigning here. Liereyy was in a score lead, but he didn't really have a good way. Was it resignation here? 51 minutes? Yeah, looks right. He didn't really have a good way to counter what Viper had on the field. Champions, Liereyy got those. Elite skirmishers, you fight elite longbowmen with that. And the Liereyy were good, but I think Onagers maybe were needed against the siege rams. And that's something that Liereyy was not able to get on the field. Not sure if he did any other mistakes, any big mistakes, but it's the small details on that high level that are deciding the games here. And Viper winning this one, quite impressive. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to add in, spoiler alert, a little bit of an interview with the Viper after the games. So he is talking a bit about his favorite maps to play, which are closed maps, and that the young guns are not really as experienced, even though they improved a lot, of course. Hope you enjoyed this one. See you in the next games. GG.
So when it comes to your map picks as well, this is something I've kind of noticed over like a lot of tournaments and things as of recent. You're picking a lot more maps like Arena, Fortress, just maps that start off fully walled. Obviously, you're comfortable on most of the maps in the pool, like easily. You've been around that long and that good of a player as well. Are you finding you have a little bit more of an advantage to kind of play on these maps that start off fully walled?
Well, I have a lot of experience on Arena in particular, probably compared to most of the other young guns like Hera, Liereyy, MBL, these guys. So Arena is a map I feel very comfortable with in general. It's a lot about decision making, making the right decisions in the right order. And I feel like I'm usually pretty good at that when it comes to Arena. Whereas the Fortress is just a pure macro game with post-Imperial play most likely, and that's also a stage of the game where I feel very comfortable. So yeah, I do prefer those type of maps. Obviously, I'm not like worried about open maps and things like that as well. I just think those types of maps fit me better.
Yeah, and is that more like you were saying that people haven't got as much practice on them? So when it comes to newer players like Liereyy, Hera, I know they're not like new, but may not have as much experience. Is it kind of just a better choice in terms of you think you might have a better build, better decision making than them?
Yeah, pretty much. But still, they're all always improving and learning more and more themselves. So
yeah,
like, I can already tell like how much better, for example, Hera is on Arena compared to a while back. Of course, he has played way more Arena now, probably because Arena has been part of the map pool. Probably same goes for Liereyy. You can just tell how much they learn just by playing even like 10, 15 games on Arena, and they improve a lot just from that. So